And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Premier Circuit Major number 2. My name is the Matman, alongside me, Zep. We've had an amazing day of Call of Duty, and it just doesn't quit, Zep. We've got another banger on the cards. Legend of 6 Gold taking on at Frigid Gravity this time. We've got the Frigid boys sending out a couple of different rosters here, Zep.
Yeah, a couple of rosters coming into play, but it's Gravity this time that'll be on show. In Legends of 6 Gold, we've seen White compete at the end of the day, and now onto Gold. Of course, we'll see how they fare out compared to their other side that they did earlier in the day. Really interesting to see how this one is going to shape up, as we'll get into seeing how these maps look like for the day. Actually, haven't even seen what the maps are myself. We get another Vista Hardpoint. Love to see it. Vista Hardpoint, as we've been saying for the last couple of games, my favourite map and mode. I do love to see a Vista Hardpoint in a series. Such a fun map. Chaotic, close quarters, high engagements. Just cannot wait to see how both of these teams will fight in this one.
Absolutely, and I mean, Zeppy pointed it out, Vista Hardpoint, your map favorite here, but Invasion, Search and Destroy, and Karachi Control, if we get there, which would be our first map map 3 since really the beginning of the day, it'd be a very interesting one. Karachi, offensively very heavily favored, a lot of teams finding success on the offensive side, and really we've seen it go all the way round number 5 with all offensive round wins, but gotta do it through Vista and Invasion first. Lo6 Gold looking to put on another performance here, but Frigid Gravity looking to have kind of a bounce back for their boys there in the Frigid Demons, who just suffered that 2-0 loss. But as we head in once again to this Vista Hardpoint, it's been a real map and mode combo we've been getting very acquainted with today, Zep.
Yeah, we've seen this pop up for the last few series, and I, for one, have no complaints about that. And we have seen some great games with this map, might I add. So I do think it is backing up my statement that this is the best map mode in the game. But of course, I could be proven wrong depending on the showing that these two teams bring here. But I doubt that'll be the case as we get underway with this map 1. Legends of Gold's attacking from the side that you realistically do not want to be on. Again, as we talked about in the last game, Frigid Gravity on their side, where you want to be for P2, 3, and 4, and we'll see how early these teams decide to play for that.
And a 3-piece for Frigid Gravity, make it 4 right off the rip, pushing them back towards that backside spawn that you talked about. Immediately re-hitting though, Buddha's going to be able to find 2, as Legends of 6 going to be able to slide in for just a second. Immediately met by another 3-wipe in the feed, but Cheeseburger looking to do some work here. He finds 2 of his own, as it is just back and forth action here on this P1.
Yeah, back and forth so far to begin with, as Cheeseburger picking up a few kills at least. Go 4-1 now, 4 streak, a great start. The Legends of 6 Gold hold the rest of this point and get rotated well for a P2. Frigid Gravity doing great to begin with on the point, but was just answered back so quickly, and now they're finding themselves early doors trying to chase this game a little bit, as Legends of 6 Gold really just set up well around this point, but they have not accounted for the flank that doesn't pick up the 2. Only 1 as Drew gets turned quickly, but then Cap going in to try and do some damage, eventually managing to pick up point. Frigid Gravity with a great retake.
And it is a great retake indeed, with still a lot of time left to work with as well. One of the more back and forth first hard points that we've seen in quite some time here today. Both of these teams very close, tight, contested battle throughout the front, but 2-for-1 trade, making a 3-for-1 comes through for Legends of 6. They will control a lot of this hill time as the wraps start to come through, but Press in a perfect spot to be able to find the first, maybe the second. It'll come through with Cap, but still Legends of 6 doing a good job at locking some of this scrap time down, even getting 10 seconds of their own here for Frigid Gravity.
Yeah, getting a decent amount of time, but Frigid Gravity managing to kind of pull it back enough. Only 18 points in the difference as we get ready for this P3, which I'm sure will be hotly contested, as Frigid Gravity are trying to pinch through the back of the spawn, and they do. Now spawn control will be trying to get towards this point. A good control from their side. Drew, big gunfight doesn't come off, and now maybe Frigid Gravity going to be able to pick up some time, but you have to give credit to Legends of 6 Gold. They're holding Frigid Gravity off this time incredibly well, and eventually get the 4 down, and they'll be able to get some time of their own.
Heard a couple of shots do come through. Legends of Gold trying to get on the point, but I mean, just no one really able to dip their toes quite into that P3. Legends of Sex do hold just a little lead, but still nothing quite to hang your hat on. Frigid Gravity could be right back in it with just a good 20-second hold. But Zep, I mean, you talk about close map 1 hardpoints, and Vista is one of those where you can chain a lot of hills together, but sometimes it just goes back and forth between each team really holding down a good majority of time, but a lot of white hill time throughout both of this game for both of these teams.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great point to mention. Like, both of these teams are kind of, even when they're getting rotated, they're playing very wide of the hill, just trying to make sure that they're keeping the sight and the control locked down, as opposed to actually getting on and getting that valuable time. And sort of a consistent thing we have been seeing so far is that Legends of 6 Gold are the ones that are getting themselves rotated well for the point, but Frigid Gravity are usually managing to get in, and if not completely break the point, at least make life really difficult. But it looks like Legends of Gold this time are going to be able to lock down the majority of that time, as with 30 seconds left, they are sitting on it comfortably now, 80 points on the board, over 50 in the lead. And Legends of Gold just in a really good position now to maybe start pulling away, as we talked about these spawns being so important. They have got them. They just need to make sure now that they get rotated well for next point, as that's where Frigid Gravity are setting up.
Yeah, and it's not a massive lead yet here for Legends of 6, but they do have an ability to kind of extend that with this P5. If they're able to break on in early, get a good majority time, that's when the lead can start to get away from you. But a great hold from Gravity here could put them right back into this one. A couple of 1-for-1 trades do go down onto the hill, as it is white for now. And there goes Gold right back into it, immediately traded right back out. And it's white hill time again from both of these teams. Neither one of them really willing to take a full hold on this hill. The press over the top side, finds one, finds two, and it's 3 dead in the feed, and that's when Gravity will strike there onto the hill as well. Perfectly played, and the patience pays off for them.
Yeah, well, Frigid definitely played that patient, but at the end of the day, they're after getting 4-man wiped after that patience and are right back to square one with Legends of 6 Gold being able to sit on what looks like to be the entirety of that scrap time. And Frigid Gravity had about a solid 10 to 15 second period where they were off the hill, but they had most control of the site. They just don't seem to want to play the site unless they get a 2 or 3 man down. They feel like Legends of 6 Gold are just hanging around the hill waiting to pick them off going towards the point, but they need just a little bit of more map sense to realize that, hey, okay, that point is open, we got a couple of kills, so we know where the opposition should be. We need to be going in and soaking more of those 5 or 10 seconds, even if it's risky time to soak, because at the end of the day, you can have map control, but you need to be doing something with that map control.
44 seconds still to work with on this P1. Frigid Gravity forced to really find a break on in. Contested only for a second, though, as kills start to go up. Yellow in the kill feed. 3-for-1 trade. Last one up and last one down. Invader. You still have 30 seconds left to work with. Frigid Gravity now spawning out towards the bad side. You know exactly where they're coming from, and you have really everything you want locked down. As long as the P2 rotation is clean, 20 seconds to give away, you're fine with giving it. But P2 has to be perfect. Now, Frigid Gravity is just kind of hanging around here. They're garnering a little bit of scrap, a little bit of initial time, but nothing to really hang their hat on in purpose of trying to cut into this lead. You're still down about 70 points here, Zep, and you really need to find a good hold here on one of these next hills.
Yeah, they haven't really had a singular moment where they've picked up majority of the time or looked dangerous around the point, at least for a consistent amount of time. And again, you go and look at the kills. Frigid Gravity sort of kind of even across the board of the kills being average, whereas Legends of 6 Gold, you've Buddha 23 and 14, Cheeseburger 24 and 13, and then the rest of the team not doing too bad on those numbers either, with over a minute in hill from Drew. So just as a team in the slaying power, it's working better for them. But Frigid Gravity, as you said, having moments, and again going to have a moment here where maybe they're going to get the majority time, but again, look at spawns. Legends of 6 Gold are set up well to rotate, and that's where P3 and 4 can start to become very dangerous. And if Legends of 6 hold that 3 or 4, then at that point this game is pretty much done.
Yeah, I mean, you need to have a hold here coming into this one. Legends of 6 trying to find the wrap through the back stairs. It starts with Drew. He's in the power position here. His couple of shots hit onto press. Drew does get dealt with, but still pressure here for Gold to really hit through the backside. You get a couple of shots, you deal with the Frigid Gravity wrap, and still no one quite onto the hill yet. 3-for-1 trade's gonna go your way if you're Lo6. So now you're in position to start getting majority hold here on this time. But meanwhile, gonna be able to find a 2-piece there. You have to really kind of avoid the hill now if you're on the side of Gold. And right right into the hill, we say, as gravity goes, but still, Buddha and Drew able to combine for a 3, make it a 4, and you absolutely deal with every single player on the docket, and Frigid Gravity now once again firmly on the back foot.
Yeah, I mean, that was a phenomenal dismantling by Legends of 6 Gold. The way they got in on that point, just played the trades, the bait and switches to perfection, as they, you know, aren't really going to get much of that time at the end, but they do stifle Frigid Gravity being able to grab the rest of it, and now with just over 80 points in the difference, going to be 90 points going into this next point. It looks like Legends of 6 are in a pretty good place to be able to go through and perhaps take this map, but Frigid Gravity, one good hold and they're right back in this, and it looks like they are set up for the good hold, but potentially managing to gain spawns. It'll be interesting to see how Drew works around the back, but it's Cap picking up 1, and so far it's Frigid Gravity learning from the mistakes that they made earlier, even though that they're in danger. They're sitting on the point, racking up the time, and if they get this next 40 seconds, only 30 points in the difference, so anything's possible from there.
I mean, but it has to be a perfect hold on this hill. Can't really afford to give up much time as they're right back into it. And you gotta think, the P5 rotation has to be perfect. Press is already going to go ahead and start to hit the wrap on over, but Drew and the rest of the crew still here looking to do damage here at P4. Drew is taken down there, so Press able to find a 2 pieces. Vader now going to hit the wrap that Press was once on. Late break in for Lo6, and they'll be able to get just a second of time. But Frigid Gravity, it's that good hold that you were talking about. It has put them right back into this game, but now you're going to have to find the kills here off the rotation heading into P5, and it's going to be Gold that's there in position ready to garner some of this early time. But early shots now from Ming Mao trying to take out Cheeseburger as Legends of 6 just try to hold all the time that they can. Cheeseburger, a hop, a jump, and a skip, able to find 1, but no more than that as Vader gets onto the hill himself. Players being dealt with in every corner. Press comes through, lines all 3. You still have Cheeseburger who's there. The back spawns are still in for Legends of 6, but Frigid Gravity, that's the break they needed.
Yeah, massive opportunity that's potentially giving them a lifeline, but Buddha coming in with a massive 2 to clear that hill, and as you say, the spawns don't flip. That works in the favor of Legends of 6 Gold, and they just get right back onto that point and get it cleared. And by the way, speaking of Buddha, look at those kills. 34 and 21, what a phenomenal showing from him. But Presto Devo on 31 and 25 as well in the other side. Both these teams all of a sudden finding themselves very evenly poised on who the top players are, but ultimately it's that score in the middle of your screen at the top of the middle that is what counts, and the difference maker being right now Legends of 6 Gold on that 220. But Frigid Gravity rotated once again, picking up the kills on this P1. They can hold a decent amount of this time. They could potentially find themselves pulling this game back, potentially winning it on either P2 or P3, but they still have to play some perfect hardpoint from here.
I mean, they've done just enough to make this thing mixy, right? They've hung around just under the scoreline that you'd think was, you know, impossible for a comeback, but they've just hung around, and now you can see it up over the 190 mark. You've still got 30 seconds to work with on this hill. You can get it just about tied if you can hold down the rest of this P1. Frigid Gravity doing everything that they need to, finding all of the kills, making sure that they control the spawn, know exactly where everybody is coming from. It's a beautiful team streak that comes out of the side of Frigid Gravity. Now you know exactly as well, with Buddha coming up through the backside, that these players are starting to hit throughout P1. It'll be up to 230 now for the side of Legends of 6, but a team kill that comes through, and it's like you pointed out, Zep now able to win it here off of P2, and Frigid Gravity has done enough to be able to win the rotational game, but now a pinch being set up. Cheeseburger throughout the backside. It's going to be able to find 1. 3-for-1 trade now happens on the hill. Vader, the last man up, finds 1 on the hill, but no more than that. Cruise missile now going to be invested. Things coming down to the wire. Cruise missile in for Frigid Gravity. He's able to find 1, but still close game. 33 seconds, just enough time for Legends of 6 to win it. You need to find a break if you're Frigid Gravity.
Yeah, Frigid Gravity need to get in and get this break, but also for them, they're going to need to think about rotations to P3, and they do not even have the spawns for it. So this is lining up well for Legends of 6 Gold to pick up a 2. They got on this point, and I don't believe that they will win it from here. And they definitely won't now that that Cruise has come in. Vader with a massive 2, but now they actually need to rotate quickly, and it does look like Legends of 6 Gold are set up for it. As you said, this game has really come down to the wire on a knife edge, as we're 236 to 222 onto this P3 for the third time. A big 2 from Vader and Presto, and Ming Mao making it 3, and they have the spawns as well. Have Frigid Gravity rescued this game from the jaws of defeat?
I mean, they really snatched it. It's almost here. 236 to 236. It's a 2-for-1 trade that goes the way of Frigid Gravity. They find the next one as well. Danny Mac really the only one left alive, but he's done enough damage on the hill. He finds the 2-piece to get in. He is dealt with, and it's Frigid Gravity right back in. Everyone trying to hit from the front side. 2-piece for Press. Drew into the hill, able to find one, but no more than that. 4 seconds needed. Contested hill for now. They slide in. Ming Mao, he's here. It's one last ditch effort, and it's not enough. Frigid Gravity pull off the comeback, snatch it from the jaws of defeat, and bring it back from almost 100 points down to steal a map 1 here in a best of 3.
Well, I think that I can safely say that that is the most entertaining map we have seen all evening on, guess, none other than the Vista Hardpoint. What did I say? It's an entertaining map, but my god, so much of that credit goes down to Frigid Gravity. Presto Devo on 40 kills, and I believe he had put Buddha, I believe, on 40, 41, something like that towards the very end. I mean, what a performance from both of those teams, but Legends of 6 Gold talk about letting it slip as Frigid Gravity just turn up the heat and manage to sneak that one towards the end. The kill so back and forth, both sides getting 2 pieces here, there, and everywhere, but Frigid ultimately managing to get the all-important spawns towards the end, which was the difference maker in sneaking that map just about. What a map 1.
Yeah, I mean, it was absolutely insane heading down to the later stages of that one. I mean, we were looking at it, it was almost about a 160 to 60 point lead for Legends of 6 Gold, and it's just slowly getting chipped away at. They got themselves back into the game. If you're Frigid Gravity, you have a couple of good hills that happen, and you're able to just hit those rotations and start that chain that we talked about, and you can start it at any time. Down 100 isn't necessarily ideal, but they just stayed around. They hung just under the radar in that game and then pounced at the very end, made it mixy, used the streaks when they needed to be able to break open into that P2, and now you head into an Invasion S&D where now all the pressure all of a sudden is on Legends of 6.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, the pressure really is on their shoulders now, and not only because of the way that they're ultimately losing the map, but the way that they found themselves just slowly losing that momentum throughout the map. Like, because you do have a team who's kind of come into this, grown into it, and look, you could look at the scorelines and say they just about won a tight game, but you could look at it from our perspective and say that ultimately they played a far better second half hardpoint. They got far more points, they were down so much and still managed to pull it back, and that's more recent than Legends of 6 Gold being able to do well at the start of a hardpoint when maybe their opposition wasn't warmed up. So for Frigid Gravity, they're definitely in the driving seat here at the moment in regards to this series, and it's up, as you said, to Legends of 6 to change that here. They need to get a couple early rounds.
And looking to take some aggression here on the offensive side. They've got B Street really kind of cleared out for them. It's just about pushing up, taking advantage of the bomb site. Smokes down in place now, looking to make the play. Drew onto the bomb with it getting planted. Buddha looking over him here. Couple of shots from Ming Mao, going to get a couple of hit markers, but nothing more than that. Press will be able to find that first blood onto Danny. So now you're looking at it 2v4. All of a sudden, Legends of 6 Gold have to make the plays, and it's just nowhere to go. Cheeseburger stuck out back CDs, and it's a perfect 4v4 retake. Frigid Gravity keeping the foot on the gas pedal and taking the 1-0 lead here early in map number 2.
Yeah, what a round from Frigid Gravity. You know, usually when that bomb goes down, you think you're at least in some sort of trouble, but just to be able to go in, dismantle in the way that they did is just, you know, testament to their kind of down but never out mentality that we already seen from that map number 1, that even when that bomb is planted, even when they're put in a situation where they have a disadvantage, that's not going to phase them. They're going to go in and still do a cracking job as they just did, as Presto Devo and Ming Mao getting 2 kills each. I mean, you talk about a momentum drainer. Legends of 6 Gold must really be feeling the heat here, even though it's only 1 round deep.
Looking to hit some early aggression of their own here. Frigid Gravity up through the B site, but tags in from Cheeseburger. Nade's going to be over the top here, and it'll be good on to Ming Mao. Perfectly placed utility to open round up for a first blood. And now if you're Frigid Gravity, you do have the bomb in hand, but maybe a little bit of a rethink here on what you want to do with it as they elect to back out of this B Street side. Now stuck in a little bit of a corner back here as well. Zep Legends of 6, it's a big first blood, and they're playing off of it beautifully.
Yeah, absolutely. They needed that first blood, and now they're just getting up on the map and establishing some control. But Vader getting in for a kill to even it all up, and now maybe things a little more even, but they do need to get a bomb towards a site, and Legends of 6 Gold just set up in nice positions to have that overall map view and control as Cheeseburger looks like he's going to be pushed now, and you also see that Drew is going to try and rotate back to help out, but that bomb, is it being cut to A now? I believe it might be. They're definitely chasing a kill, at least over there, it seems. And the trades go back and forth, and it is now a 2v1 as that bomb makes its way over to A, and it will go down. Cheeseburger with a lot to do here in this round 2.
Yeah, a lot to do. And now the pressure mounting on his shoulders with 38 seconds left. You've got to find a bomb defusal, and you've most likely got to find 2 kills. He might get capped for free back here, so that'll easy things up for him here a little bit. Presso's got to look to run around and at least get a bomb check, at least get eyes on it. Cheeseburger now down the A Street, 1v1, rifle in hand. It's going to be a long gunfight there to take. Couple of tags come in. Presso knows that all he needs to do is just watch the bomb. Cheeseburger elects to hop it there. He gets out with his life. Still time to make this work. 9 seconds left. Presso's just going to run away. Not enough time to find the defused Cheeseburger. It's a brilliant 1v2, but just not enough time on the clock, and Frigid Gravity will take their second round here in a deciding game.
Whew, that was a close one there. I mean, Frigid Gravity, they done really well to pull that round back, but again, arguably making it nearly harder than it should have been towards the end, but some good running down of the time, realizing that he'd pushed Cheeseburger off of the bomb and just making sure to get by that extra second or two. That was going to be what was necessary. That's where you have to keep a cool, calm head even in the most intense of moments, and now Frigid Gravity 2-0 up, continuing that momentum, because not only are they winning these rounds, but they're winning them in like a really strong fashion where they're just showing such perseverance that must be hard to deal with as an opposition.
They're just putting rounds on the board right now, and it's something that we talked about coming off that first map 1 hard point. It could be tough to deal with. Presso's up over the top. He's out like a ghost, and he's got 2 kills in the back pocket to go along with it. Frigid Gravity, beautiful opening to this round, and a perfect way to really shut things down in a big swing round. I mean, the difference between down 3-0 and 2-1 is detrimental. And now just not a lot of options if you are the side of Legends of 6. They know exactly where you're trying to go now. You have Vader kind of pinching around the backside, but Drew will find both. The reads out of Drew are absolutely immaculate. Now only one person now guarding the bomb side. He's been dealt with. And all of a sudden, what was a 2v4 is now a 1v2 going the other way. Cap is here. He tags some shots in, but not gonna happen. Legends of 6 pull a rabbit out of the hat and get this thing almost tied up. Zeb, what a round by the boys in gold.
Yeah, fantastic round for them. And look, they needed something to go their way here after the way that map 1 played out. Map number 2 having a couple of rounds on the trot where they just couldn't get things going. They needed to find something to cling on to quickly, because otherwise they would have been 3-0 down and really seeing this series slip away from them. But they have given themselves a chance now, and plenty of rounds left to play in this one. They're going to be looking to continue forward and maybe win rounds in a little more of a standard fashion, not having to play spectacularly and turn a situation around. Just be able to stay up as a 4, get pressed up high in a round and just pick apart the opposition. Maybe they'll be able to do that here on this defense.
What a big round it could be as well. You think about getting things knotted back up at 2 apiece. Looks like Frigid Gravity has slowed down a little bit here after being cut down in that last round. Maybe a little over aggression there in the 2v4. Could have played a little bit slower. Now with the bomb, this is kind of our first hit towards the A site that we've really seen for Frigid, but maybe electing to back out of this Zep, just kind of a slow round, kind of stock for what we see on Invasion most of the time. Presso, smoke out, and now going to be trying to run out. Drew thinks he has an angle onto one of these players, but oh, just wrapped around in the smoke. The timing is absolutely terrible for him. Buddha's able to cut one down in the street, but no more than that. But Danny Mac right back with a huge two-piece to turn things back into his team's favor. Cap now left alone in the 1v2, 20 seconds left, and he's got to be able to pick up this bomb and get it planted. I mean, just not a lot of time to work. Nice read onto Cheeseburger, but the shot's not as good. Legends of 6, 2 quick ones right back in a row, and now all of a sudden, Zep, we've got a map 2 on our hands.
Yeah, absolutely. They've answered back with the few rounds of their own that they needed and shown that, hey, we are not out of things yet. As we still, again, have plenty of rounds to go. Either of these teams could come away with it. I mean, look, we've seen that map 1 go in such a way where these teams really could have pulled it either way, and you know, it feels like that could be the case here again. Maybe it was Legends of 6 Gold time to come around and maybe be the second half kings, even though really they were only 2 rounds down. But if they chain some rounds together here, they could be a really strong force to deal with going into map 3 potentially.
And especially now, you find that first blood, you start to push up the B street, you start thinking about that 3rd round in a row to really kind of set the tone for the last half here of this map number 2. DMAC has been spotted, but a great nade over the top, going to be eaten up by a trophy system. Stun information is on for Ming Mao, and he's kind of the player that has to make this work. Buddha's looking for the wrap, but it's all played from this back ice cream side. Frigid Gravity have 2 players here, Ming Mao alongside Vader, playing that cinder block wall. A couple of early shots in from Ming Mao, not going to amount to any kills there. Drew slides perfectly around that broken side, able to find one. Vader does get a trade back, but Frigid Gravity now has control of the site, and Vader, he is just out like a light back towards his own spawn, but smoke down, bomb probably going to get planted here. But did Vader just catch the timing? That's going to be what's interesting if he's able to catch it, but he gets shot down from the B street. Shut down, cut down in his prime, all onto Cap. Not going to be able to find the round, and Zep, Legends of 6, is starting to put it together here.
Yeah, they're starting to look strong, looking like they have the answers. They're just getting the picks, maybe exposing times where the opposition are getting a little too trigger happy, sort of running into traps where they're not fully prepared for the amount of people that they're going to be dealing with. I think, you know, Frigid Gravity, they've just kind of lost a little bit of that playing as a team, and you kind of look at the size as well. It's been Prezzo Devo 7-4. Really standing out for Frigid Gravity, where it's been a way more even performance across the other side of Legends of 6 Gold. So maybe you just have a case where you have a team working together as a unit versus kind of the individual carrying some kills, because an individual can never do it for every single round, and maybe for Frigid Gravity that's just starting to show a bit here.
Still a lot of S&D left to be played though. Cap's going to be able to find the first kill on the Cheeseburger. Now Danny Mac a little bit kind of stuck out here. Hit markers there as he slides back in. Legends of 6 down a man on the defensive side, trying to find a stand here on one of these sites. Buddha is playing out towards this mid area. A site is pretty clear for now. Buddha wrap around, tries to hit the ring around the Rosie. He's out through dark, and that's the A site cleared off. And obviously Frigid Gravity, without those X-rays, won't be able to tell that quite yet, Sep. But still, it's been a good start to this round for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Good start to the round. You know, they did get that first blood, and now the second. But Danny Mac in with a trade, Buddha with a trade, and now all of a sudden into a 2v2 with the pressure on Presto Devo to get that bomb down, and he does over at A, and they are set up on the complete other side of the map, so they have at least maybe 5 to 10 seconds to deal with here. Legends of 6 Gold about to go in for some massive gunfights.
Oh, Buddha able to find his teammate's trade, but not before Vader finds one, so now it leaves Presso versus Buddha 1v1. Bomb planted here for Press. Needs to be able to find a way to just hold down for 22 seconds. Buddha's going to check these corners, look through all the angles. Sound cue may be in for Press here, but Buddha is going to like to run through mid and find the perfect timing. Now on to the defuse, just enough time, and puts Legends of 6 up here big now late in the S&D 4-2 score line, and a beautiful 1v1.
Yeah, my word, that was a pressure scenario that Buddha managed to come out on top of. Maybe a little bit of COD timing coming into play there, just catching the opposing player, just kind of turned around, running away instead of checking towards that bomb. But ultimately, you have to give a lot of credit to Buddha for coming out with that one on a 4 streak as well. So if they can get a couple of kills and potentially go 5-2 up, you could have a streak that would virtually win them this search and destroy, you would think. So Frigid Gravity stuck really far behind here at the moment in time, as they haven't pulled a round back in quite a while and really seem to be running out of answers in terms of how to deal with their opposition on this map. Oppressive Devo getting one but traded out. Now a 3v3 and the top player for Frigid Gravity gone. That's going to spell some trouble.
Yeah, it's going to spell a lot of trouble here. And always interesting when you get down to these 3v3 situations. And Zep, I mean, I don't want to cast or curse it, but very well could be on to what is our first map 3 in a very, very long time here on the main broadcast. But Cheeseburger going to take Cap out and look to do just that, sending us to a map 3. We're right around into the tractor side. Player taken out, bomb gets planted, and Legends of 6 are running amok here on Invasion.
Yeah, Legends of 6 just completely dismantling towards B, and I honestly do not understand the plays of Frigid Gravity there at that moment in time. Things are looking pretty even. It's gone to a stalemate. It's the opposition side that need to plant. So why are you peeking long lanes, giving them the potential number advantage to go and break through on a site? We've seen that happen a few times now, where maybe they've gotten killed from positions where they don't need to necessarily be peeking. I think Frigid Gravity need to kind of learn the lesson of playing their lives a bit more, because if they even had to give up that B site and maybe get a pick in the process, all of a sudden it's a 3v2 retake rather than being a 2v3 outnumbering, having an opposing team bearing down on your bomb site.
Absolutely. Now for Legends of 6, you're 1 round away from pushing this to a map 3. You had the advantage in the map 1. It let it slip away from you, but looking to close the door here on this map. 2 big kills to open up the round. Now into a 2v4, make it a 1v4. Presso's got the bomb in hand, but that's about the only thing that's going well for him. They take him down, and Legends of 6 will send us to our first control that we have got to see in a very, very long time. And now a little bit of a toss-up here in this series, Zep.
Yeah, really throwing a spanner in the works here by almost being able to take this map and taking us to a map 3. In terms of deciding who's going to be the top team, it really has just taken us on a twirl here, because, I mean, you could argue Legends of 6 Gold that they only really had a period of 1.5 to 2 minutes in map number 1 where they weren't the top team, but then you could also argue that they managed to choke a lead and then only managed to pull it back after 2 or 3 rounds of not playing the best in Invasion Search and Destroy. There are ways that you can spin this, but ultimately it's the final scoreboard that counts. And you know, at the end of the day, Frigid Gravity managed to just about take a hard point, but Legends of 6 Gold, by the scoreboard, dominate a Search and Destroy and look like the team who's picked up the momentum, learned from their mistakes, and maybe getting ready to go into a map number 3 with sort of a new lease on life, if it were. And if you were to look at the way the maps play as well, Vista, very high engagement, very high kills, kind of a shorter, or what would you say, a smaller map, whereas the size of Invasion in Karachi, kind of far more tactical affairs, which potentially could lean way more into the side of Legends of 6 Gold.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about the momentum as well being gained for the side of Legends of 6. I mean, they start that map down 2-0, and it's looking like Frigid Gravity may be able to put a run on and close the door on this series. And then it's 6 rounds fired off in a row from the side of Legends of 6 to end out that map number 2. So everything's still to play for here in this series. We're going to toss it to a quick break, and when we come back, decisive map number 3. Don't go anywhere. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Premier Circuit Major number 2. My name is the Map Man, alongside me, Zepcast, and we've got an interesting one here, our first map 3, since really the start of the day here between Frigid Gravity and Legends of 6. It's going to be interesting to see who takes this one. We've seen really these two teams battling it out in 2 kind of close maps. I mean, you take the first one at a 250 to 238. Legends of Gold kind of, they choke that one a little bit. They're up almost 100 points. They end up letting the lead slip away. And then for Frigid Gravity, you're up 2-0 and the S&D feeling good, and all of a sudden 6 rounds in a row fired off, and we're going to a map 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's really one that's so up in the air in comparison to a lot of the games that we have covered this evening, where, you know, two teams you could argue have been maybe the better side, depending on how you'd look at it. I mean, Frigid Gravity just ultimately kind of getting ran on through a bit of momentum of Legends of 6 Gold in that Search and Destroy, but then, you know, looking at that hard point, they managed to pull it back and be such a dominant team to where you could say maybe both of these teams are just full of players that really thrive on momentum. So it's such a tough one to call, honestly. I mean, if you have both sides with momentum and you're going onto a control, are you really feeling off the back of that Search and Destroy, or are you going to be the side of Frigid Gaming and you realize that on a respawn you're the stronger team because you managed to make such an amazing comeback on that map, won't it? It's really hard to know. It just comes down to the mindset of both of these teams and ultimately the gun skill that they are going to bring to this map number 3 as we get it underway.
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams have things that they can draw a little bit of momentum off. Both teams finding success here in this series, and while we're headed to a map number 3 and already early bang out action towards the A site, couple of 1-for-1 trades go either which way. Cheeseburger over up the wall, but right sat down, and Legends of 6 now a little bit on the back foot as that second tick does look to come through now here for Frigid Gaming. Drew just trying to find shots towards top third, able to find one, no more than that. A couple of trades go either which way, but it is Buddha that is able to finally clear off the hill. Third tick just stopped before it comes through, and a great nade from Cheeseburger there. He picks up another kill top red, and he starts to kind of run around a little bit, but Press finds the trade onto him, not allowing any player to really get going here early, and it's just back and forth action on a Karachi control.
Yeah, back and forth indeed as we're on board with Presso Devo, trying to just get a pick at top, and eventually does against Drew. Now it is Cheeseburger onto the point, getting a little bit more of a clear, but Cap in there at the kill, and so far a very back and forth affair with the kills. 21v21, 2 ticks gone at A, now B being started on. A nice switch up as it is Legends of 6 Gold who are chasing towards that site, but Frigid Gravity look pretty set up. 3 down now, and a fantastic rotation over to this B that could spell it gone. 2 ticks done already on both sides, and Frigid Gravity started off with a very, very strong offense.
5 ticks all the way through. We talked about it as well, how offensive heavy this map can be at certain times. Cap and Bing Mao as well going to be able to combine for a big 2 kills there. It really kind of clears off this A site. Now you can just hop it if you want to, but it's 2 kills that come through for Legends of 6. You still have pressure around the site if you're Frigid Gravity, but just the map control from Legends of 6 right now. And Cheeseburger is absolutely moving towards the backside, looking to set up the spawn trap here. 3 dead in the feed. It's starting to be pushed back towards Coop.
Yeah, great plays coming in when they need it, because they need to get them completely away from this A point. They get anywhere near A and it's game over, but Cheeseburger absolutely popping off. 7 and 4 on the 3 street, but eventually taken out of it. And Frigid Gravity 9v13, they do have an opportunity to get towards this A point, but they realistically only have 1 or 2 full pushes left in the tank given their lives, so they really have to think about how they go with this one. And they got a pick, they've got 2, and now do they maybe funnel onto the point? It looks like they might do. They check underneath, they do. And now Frigid Gravity stack onto the point as a 3, and just like that, you're seeing this one gone. Frigid Gravity, they played that offense incredibly well. From getting pushed back into the spawn at one point, they still managed to cap an A and a B, and just completely sending Legends of 6 Gold in the opposite direction at times. And what can I say? It's a pretty strong offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a map that allows for a lot of offensive pressure, especially towards both of those sites. I mean, that B site, as soon as you go 4 dead, I mean, the offense knows exactly where you're going to come from. You're either coming from Yellow Street, you're climbing up the top AC, or you're most likely hopping over the half wall. They do everything right, and it's going to be now on to Legends of 6 that they're going to have to fight back on the offensive side and really have a strong offensive showing of their own. And it'd be really interesting to see as well if we get down to another map 3 and it's an absolute blowout, which is not something that I'd expect between both of these teams, how close it's been throughout this series.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see a blowout in here whatsoever, but it's been so back and forth between these teams that I think they're always going to take them right down to the wires. Legends of 6 Gold are managing to stay alive in this A point, maybe getting a cap slightly slower, but at least getting consistently on the point. As it looks like now, 2.5 ticks deep, they've got them pushed back and potentially get the cap as Ming Mao tries to make the push. Does not happen. And that A point is already gone. Legends of 6 Gold so far answering back with a great offense of their own, but sure, as we've seen before, A can sometimes be a piece of cake. It's how you work at B. But you do have Buddha already over towards that B side, and for some reason Frigid Gravity have not really rotated over at all. I think they've completely missed the fact that there's a player through the back, and this could cause some calamity if they start to collapse in this B point.
Yeah, and I mean, they know where Legends of Six are supposed to be spawning. They just kind of lose track of Buddha there in the kill feed. He's been just laying back here this entire time, waiting for his teammates to pick up a couple of kills, really being patient back there. Now as the kills come through for Legends of Six, they can start to take over this B site. Still playing patiently, though, as well with Buddha in that back position. Look, Cap and Vader going to be able to get 2 kills, and Buddha still relying on his teammates, still trusting that they'll be able to hold this down. No ticks come through just yet for Legends of Six, and now the rest of Frigid Gravity is here looking to do damage.
You know what I absolutely loved about that play from Buddha, which he's still kind of undertaking? It hasn't quite worked out, but I think the reason why Buddha is staying here so much is not to necessarily pick up the kill, but to push Frigid Gravity to spawn out at a certain location where Legends of 6 Gold would know where they're spawning. If Legends of 6 Gold could have picked up a couple of more kills, they know Frigid Gravity is spawning out wide, at which point they know what angles to track to cover them coming towards that B point, and it would give Legends of 6 Gold an easier opportunity to rotate into B as a team. And he's still over there, so playing that half wall, getting ready to get on to the point that looks like he's finally going to now. But Buddha, I think, just played a great card there, that he had to rely a little bit on his teammates, which it didn't quite pan out, but still being in that difficult position has now meant that they've been able to get a surprise pick for the side from the outlook of Frigid Gravity, and now collapsing on this B point.
Yeah, collapsing on the B point, and it is going very, very quickly. You've got 3 players on it. Press. Oh, he runs out of ammo with the rifle, but his teammates do able to help. You're finally into this hill. Couple of kills going your way. Buddha's still here in the back, but not able to close it out. You still got a 14 playing 11 life advantage, but now the problem is there's only 33 seconds left on the clock. You're starting to find a little bit of a collapse here through the mid area, but it's only a 2-for-2 trade that happens. Still have to find a way onto this point. 23 seconds now as the time just continues to tick away from them. The life advantage won't be able to be played here. Now the shots coming through. 2 kills. Make it 3. Make it 4. Lighting up the kill feed is Frigid Gravity, and even though you have a great showing on the offensive side, it's just not enough to close out the round, and it will be a 2-0 lead now here in this map number 2 for Frigid Gravity.
Yeah, Frigid Gravity played some great defense there in the end, and look, you could have said that Legends of 6 Gold getting that A point quicker, that they could have been more aggressive and more dominant, but look, that A point, it really is only a matter of time a lot of the time on that point. It's the B where that really is the tough job to cap, and you have to give so much credit to Frigid Gravity, which is what we did in that round number 1 when they managed that successful switch up to B, when it looked like they try and finish A but switched it up to B and got that point capped. It was in that moment really that they won the round. I know they got pushed back into their spawn, but ultimately you only need even just half a chance on A to really do some damage on that point. So that was where they really shone in that round 1. So going into the round 2, yes, A was capped, but B is where the hard work needs done. And now Frigid Gravity on this A point again, but also look, we've got 2 players still going over to B, picking up 1, picking up 2. B completely free once again, just doing a 2-2 split that completely catches Legends of 6 Gold off guard, and once again they have this B control with Vader again under the half wall, and this is just where the tactical nous, you would say, if the teams is shining. But credit to Legends of 6 Gold, they got in and got that all-important break.
Oh, and look at the patience from Cap. Hides right behind the door, and he may be able to flank the flank a little bit here, able to take out one, trying to head into his spawn, but Buddha right back to trade him out. It's been a good start from Frigid Gravity, but it's been a little bit staggered here, as they're not able to find their way onto any point just yet. But Vader still playing around in top red, a hop, a jump, and a skip, and he's out. Danny on the chase, but still can't find him just yet. That'll be the kill that'll clean him up, and Legends of 6 have held this map down beautifully so far, and it looks like Frigid will just have to cut their losses and try to get this A zone out of the way and get that extra minute on the clock.
Yeah, absolutely. Legends of 6 Gold, the regain from them over towards the B side has been immaculate, and now getting pushed up to junk, always picking up the 2 or 3 compared to the 1 of Frigid. But this time, Presidivo and Vader picking up the 2, and then Mingmao with the 3rd. Make that the 4th with Presidivo, once again picking up another, and now the stack onto A, and this is probably the A cap that they needed, but still a lot of work to do with B, and 16v19, the lives are not in their favor to get many attempts at that site.
Will be the A site done. Get the extra minute on the clock. You get a couple of kills there from Ming Mao. Buddha still playing around here, but if he gets ripped off as well, could be pressure hitting pretty quickly towards the B site. Buddha, though, perfect patient play, but the shots won't be able for him. The rechal is in, the kill is in as well, but so is the trade from Vader. You clean it up, 14-14 on lives. 1 minute remaining. Frigid Gravity, one site away from closing the door on this series in a perfect map 3, but still Legends of 6 here playing the defensive side, finding a couple of kills.
Yeah, and 12v14, the live's going to become a huge factor, but only 50 seconds left, so Frigid Gravity will be looking to make these pushes 11v12. They need to get a good wipe of kills, and they do get 2. Will they decide to make the move here? It looks like they're gonna make that attempt, but they are still trying to pick up a few more kills first, but Buddha going absolutely huge, and Danny Mac adding on to that. Now only 30 seconds left. Legends of 6 gold, credit to them. They've held out really well in this defense, and Frigid Gravity are quickly running out of time.
Yeah, just bending, but not quite breaking there. They find another 3-piece in the feed. Everyone from Frigid Gravity spawning out now. Maybe one last-ditch effort. It would have to be a lot of kills to go their way. That's 3 dead in the feed, though. It's exactly what the doctor ordered, and now the race is on for the site. Drew is here alone. What can he do by himself on the point? Oh, lights up 2, and that should be the game done, at least this round. 2 players stuck in the back room, able to find one. Pressure reapplied from the back, and you still got Presso just running around by himself, but nothing going. Perfect from Drew. It was all alone. It all came down to him, and when he only needed one, he's able to find 2. Perfectly holds for his teammates to reinforce. And Legends of 6, they'll stay around for now, Zep, but now on the offensive side, we'll have to see what they do. But that's a start to being able to pull this one back.
Drew has just ultimately kept his team in this series. I mean, I cannot understand how important that 2-piece was. If he does not play his life in that scenario, if he just quickly chals that person at bottom, peeks left and right, and gets wide for the challenge, and he gets taken out, a triple flood is happening straight away from Frigid Gravity into that point, perhaps get into the back door to cover that half wall just in time, and all of a sudden they have complete control of that B point, and you could consider it game, set, and match. So what a massive 2-piece from Drew. Big game player, popping off in a moment like this, and now giving themselves a chance as they have to win, do the harder job in winning an offense. And to be fair, they've gotten that A cleared quick once again, and Frigid Gravity will have to set up to guard this B, but we've already seen them being able to do it before. Will they be able to do it again?
Hey, special players, special teams, special plays out of Drew right there. Absolutely incredible work, and he's able to find another one there. Gets his team this A site. You got a 3 life advantage as well as 2 minutes left to work with on the clock. You're already on to this B site. At least some pressure with Cheeseburger could potentially get the first tick in. He's going to have pressure now hitting from the backside. Tries to hit the turn and burn onto Cap, but won't come through. And for Legends of 6, you're still here. You're still throwing shots at this. Buddha's gotten into that back position once again where he likes to play. And this is a great start for them to open up here to try to find a good hit here now on his B site.
Yeah, absolutely, as they try to just make their way forward. They're in good positions, but not quite working out as of yet. Ming Mao managing to stay up, and it is Buddha once again just in that back, trying to make life difficult for Frigid Gravity when it comes to the spawns, but it didn't quite work out for Legends of 6 Gold last time, having him sit there, and it's almost like Frigid Gravity are just happy to say, yeah, sit there. I mean, you're not really posing any real threat. We know what you're trying to do with the spawn outs, but we're managing to keep ourselves up on the lives enough so that you're not really presenting a real issue. As again, you see Buddha just constantly going right into that back spawn trying to get the picks, but you know, for example, hoping to run into Ming Mao there on that map, but it's not going to happen. And now Presto Devo finally going for the chase and picking up the hill, or picking up the kill, should I say. So that's been a player sort of out of the rotation of the game for about 30 to 45 seconds for no real payoff, and that could be really damaging when a play like that doesn't pay off.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a great play if it does, though, right? If your teammates are able to find a few kills, you're able to work your way in, you can absolutely take over the site, but since he's left so far out, it leaves them kind of in a bad spot. But now you do find a couple of kills. Buddha's rejoined the team. You have a full 4 hit towards the site. All of a sudden, you clear everything off, and now hopping over the half wall you go. Presso, though, does slip through for free. He's got the positioning that could blow this whole hole wide open. Finds the first one. Second one not going to come through. Only seconds left to be able to get onto the hill, and Legends of 6 find 2 rounds in a row and now have brought this to a round 5 in a game that they looked down and out, where Frigid Gravity looked to be doing everything right. It is Legends of Six that bring this back, and now interesting to see who will get this defensive last round. It's probably going to come down to the kills there, I would have to assume. Legends of Six, though. What a comeback from them, Zep.
Legends of Six, they managed to come back, and credit to them, a great round for them, but I am shocked that they got away with not watching that half wall at the end. They had Presto Devo, I believe, just freely hop over, get round the back and pick up 1, and if Presto Devo had picked up the 2-piece, then all of a sudden you're in a very dangerous territory for trying to get that B point cap. So, and I think very lucky in the end where it just didn't quite work out for Frigid Gravity, but credit to them, they've pulled it back, sort of atoning for the sins of that map 1 where they were so far ahead and then let it slip. They are the team that is coming back in the second half of a map this time around, and ultimately when it matters most. But it looks like they've all but lost this 8-pointer. They're going to have a lot of fighting to do over at this B. 28 v 25, 3 lives down, 2 minutes 15 on the clock. What are they going to be able to do?
Yeah, and it looked to be a quick rotation over, but beautiful kills out of the boys in gold. They're able to find 3 off of those rotations that could have been huge for the side of Gravity, but now a huge flow of yellow flying in the kill feed as Legends of Six have taken over the B side of the map. You now know where those spawners are coming from, out towards Junk side. Legends of Six starting to get a little spread out on the map now to cover a little bit more zones and just take that control. But Sep, so far, we've seen bend don't break out of a lot of the defensive rounds that we've seen here through the past couple, and now for Legends of Six, looking to lean on it once more to try to close out this series.
Yeah, absolutely, and it seems to be working for them still. I mean, you look at the kills as well, 29 and 27, 23 and 24, whereas on the side of Frigid Gravity, no one's really gotten over that 20 mark. In fact, Ming Mao has had very little engagement, surprisingly enough. I mean, only what? If I do the math right, which I'm terrible at, I believe 17 kill death engagements throughout 5 rounds of control. That is interesting to say the least. It'll be an interesting one to look back on and see how that works, as Legends of Six Gold, they are just slaying enough to keep them sort of pushed off the point at times, but Frigid Gravity have still been managing to get up and just tick away at that B to the point where now they have 2 and are presenting a real danger. But Legends of Six Gold, credit to them, they are hanging on, but the kills are coming in for Frigid Gravity, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they've just got the stack of the points, and that's all it takes.
Oh my god.
A Karachi control, and they almost just seemingly come in and just sneak that out of nowhere. As we saw the bend not break, it almost just bent completely the other way without completely breaking until you realized it was too late. And by that point, it was completely broken.
I mean, and that's the difficulty of playing defense on control. You can have a perfect round, do everything correctly, and 1-4 dead can break apart everything you've worked towards in that round. And Frigid Gravity able to steal one away there, and I mean, like you said, Zeb, seemingly out of nowhere. But what a series between both of these teams. Frigid Gravity do almost the same thing where they're able to bring it back in that map 1, 252-38, the 6th round in a row run from Legends of Six, the S&D, and then 2 rounds in a row from Frigid, 2 rounds in a row from Legends, and 1 sneaky offensive round of Karachi from Frigid Gravity to shut that series down and take a hard-fought 2-1 victory.
Yeah, I mean, hard fought is the perfect way to put it. I mean, both of these teams have put on a spectacular performance throughout this series, with all of these games really looking like they could have gone all the way, even in that 6-2 search and destroy. Sometimes those rounds hung on a knife edge, and at map 1 and map 3, just really the definition of going down to the wire. But it is ultimately Frigid Gravity who get in and get the job done. And as we were saying, it was kind of shocking, really. Legends of Six Gold just kept looking like they were able to hold, but I think it was just a case of Frigid Gravity constantly getting 2 kills, 1 taken out, 2 kills, 1 taking out, and eventually that numbers game just stacking up in their favor to where they slowly but surely edged their way past Red, towards Bus, to hanging around that B point, to being able to be going into B point and then getting eyes on that half wall and really keeping Legends of Six Gold pushed out. Terrific performance from them, not wavering, not faltering after having a comeback of the ages looking like it was going to happen, with Legends of Six Gold pulling it back. They locked in, they got the job done, and overall a terrific series from them. Congratulations to Frigid Gravity, but huge commiserations to Legends of Six Gold, who have definitely put on the most competitive series that we've seen so far tonight.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to touch on, is by far definitely the tightest and closest series that we've seen, at least today, throughout these pools on the main broadcast. I mean, neither of those two teams really hanging their head after that one. It's a great series, a lot of stuff to build off to, especially heading into your pool play, and tomorrow and Saturday, and trying to push further in this tournament. But we're going to get our pool switched out. We're going to take a little bit of an extended break, and when we come back, we will have our last set of pools for the night here at the Premier Circuit, Major number 2. Don't go anywhere.